What's up, my good people? This is Jason Hairston and my man Jay English. And we are getting ready for the Healing the Heartspace Retreat. And we had a very interesting conversation because my boy's in town. So we said, let's connect. We ended up talking about energy healing and energy healers and why it is important that you have discernment about who you let do energy healing on you. So I'm going to ask you, Jay, why is it important to have discernment about who you let into your energy field?
Right. So, first of all, the main thing that's so important to understand is that when you do energy healing, it's not just that you exchange energy with the person. That's true. There's an energy transfer. But also the nature of that energy is important. So if you deal with a person that has a lot of blockages inside of them, those blockages can potentially start coming up inside of you. If you deal with a person who has a lot of energy that is very negative, that can manifest itself inside of you. So you have to be mindful of and evaluate energy healers based on where you want to go with your life, right? And you got to be able to observe and see, okay, this person has a lot of issues. I might not necessarily want to get some healing from them. In fact, they need healing themselves, right? So you got to be careful about that. And everybody, energy healing is great. And a lot of people want to kind of engage in it. But you just have to be wise about who you choose. And we say to look for people that come from a heart space, to look for people that come from a loving space. And the reason why we say that is because if you've done that, if you're doing that, you likely done a good amount of work. You likely done the clearing that's necessary for you to allow the energy to flow without you getting in the way, right? So that's a good way to protect yourself. You can observe a person, observe their relationships with themselves, with others, and are they living in a space of love? Are they coming from a heart space? That's the best way to evaluate based on what we find, whether or not you should work with an energy healer or not.
Yes, and I agree. And, pay attention to how they treat you and others. If they're talking down to people, they're not respectful, they don't honor other people, that's a red flag, because healing is about love. And if you let people into your field who have resentful energy, angry energy, they can affect your energy field in a negative way. So you want to make sure that their intentions are coming from love, like Jay said, So if you see an energy healer and you're witnessing that their lives are chaotic,
right.
That's a red flag. Because they're going to project chaos into your field. But if you recognize that someone has come there soft, they're loving and nurturing, and that's another thing too, the nurturing element. I see a lot of energy healers who lack that. But you have to have a nurturing element to assist in healing. That's part of it. So if that's missing, you might want to second guess who you're allowing in your field if the nurturing, loving element is not there.
Totally true.
So at day 2 of the retreat, the Healing the Heartspace Retreat, we're going to do a quick little rundown of what you're going to experience day 2.
So starting out day 2, we'll wake up early and get to watching the sunrise and absorbing the light and the energy of the sun. Right, the sun is beaming on us right now, right? So we're absorbing some of that right now, but we'll do it a little more consciously and with a little bit more intention, and figure out. Actually, I'll explain to you how to store that energy inside of you. And everybody that does this exercise, I find they love it because they feel full of light. It's almost like you're taking an internal light bath. So I like to start out the day like that, just so that we can start at a high vibration in the right place. And then coming out of that, we'll do some work on opening the heart. We'll have some discussions on opening the heart. We'll do some personal connection exercises where we allow ourselves to drop our boundaries, get out of our minds, get out of the space of being just an individual, and go into our feeling center, right? So you're allowing yourself to be in an intimate environment with people, not necessarily sexual, but an intimate environment with people so that healing can take place, so that connection can take place. And then coming out of that, we'll do a guided meditation to help open up the heart a little more.
Right. Then we'll make a quick break for breakfast, and then we'll come back, and I will conduct one of the exercises from my shamanic dance healing circle, which will help us learn how to shift in and out of the masculine and feminine principles. We're going to do what I call the surrender ritual. It's going to be very interesting and teach us how to connect beyond gender roles and connect more on an energetic level, on a deeper level. It's going to be powerful.
Or so then coming out of that, we'll do what we call the hug ritual. And in the hug ritual, we get very close. We hug, and people hug, but they don't really hug now, right?
Yeah,
and we see people hug with
each other.
You see what I'm
like
saying?
This.
So they hug for 10 seconds maybe at the most, and that's a good one. But we're gonna hug for a while, right? And you're going to allow that you to sink into that energy with another person. And what you're going to find when you do that, I don't want to tell too much, is just that as the mind drops off, the reality of oneness emerges. Right? So we'll allow ourselves to get into that experience. And a lot of people, when they have that experience, they're like, man, I've never experienced anything like this before. A hug is so simple, but it will allow you to directly experience the connection that we have with each other that sometimes people can't figure out in their mind. So that's a good one. Next, coming out of that, Jason will be doing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about exploring relationships from heart space, what that means, and tools on how to do just that. Because a lot of times we relate on superficial levels. So we're going to talk about how we can relate to each other directly from the essence of each other, to connect on a deeper level, so the love can assist us in healing and pulling up the things that are keeping us from being authentic, holding us back from being having relationships that can teach us more about ourselves and help us grow. So relating from the heart space is what I'll be teaching.
So after we do relating from the heart space, we're going to do something that's a little more creative, a little more fun, a little more kind of returning to your inner child sort of thing. And we'll be going out in nature. And as we go out in nature, we'll do building the heart house. So this is something that's like, the heart is internal. And it's something that's expansive, and it connects us to everybody. But we want to ritually, symbolically create a version of your heart out of natural elements, right? Out in nature, right? So we say creating a heart house, creating a space for your heart to live in the world, right? And I find that this allows for you to just make it more real, for you to take that heart energy and start using it to build and be creative. Even when I was in search of a house, I actually built a heart house. Me and my wife built a heart house. And very shortly after that, our house manifested that we wanted. Right? So there's a very powerful thing that you can do. There's symbolism in it. There's an element of manifestation in it as well. So we'll do building the heart house.
Right. And then we'll go into healing through intimacy. Doing exercises that'll help us connect more on a soul level. Because like I said before, we connect more on a superficial level. So we'll do a love is blind exercise that will help us connect beyond gender roles, beyond religion, beyond race. Okay?
So that's going to be a good one.
Yes.
And then coming out of that, we will do the second part of energy healing, right? So we had in day one started to break down some of the dynamics of energy healing, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on day two. Break it down how to use the chakras for energy healing, how to use quantum touch for energy healing, which is a great system for pain relief, as well as how to do body scanning, stuff like how to evaluate the aura and these sorts of things that are useful if you really want to be a good energy healer. And we'll finish out the final exercise for day two. We'll have some active meditation where we are in movement. We're still staying aware, still staying conscious, still staying present. And then we'll go into a little bit of mantra, and then we'll drop into Heart Yoga Nidra, which is a very, very deep meditative space where you drop everything from your awareness, but we'll hold on to that heart awareness. And the reason why we do that from a very deep place is because if you don't hold on to the blockages, if you don't hold on to the baggage, it automatically just removes itself if you allow yourself to relax fully and totally. So that is really an effortless way to start to clear in the heart. So that will be the final aspect of our workshops for day two. And then coming out of that, at the end of the night, we'll do one-on-one sessions.
Private sessions. So you come get a private energy healing session from me or Jay, or for both of us if you want.
Yeah, right. We're working you two for one. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, so that tops off day two. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. It's going to be an epic experience, and we look forward to it. Wait to see you there.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be powerful. See y'all soon.